Welcome to Metaverse Adventures. My name is Matthew, and today is May 3rd, and this is your Oculus Quest Week in Review. And it has been a crazy week. What an insane week for Oculus Quest. The news has been off the charts. We got a lot to cover in this episode, so let's get straight into it. And let's head up to Monday and look on Reddit, where people started posting pictures of a brand new Oculus display booth at their local Best Buy from all across the country. Now, this new display booth kind of gave us insights on three key things. One, it kind of gave us some insight that it looks like Oculus and Facebook are leading with the Oculus Quest as their sort of primary platform. And we know this because it occupies the top shelf. The middle shelf is the Rift S, and the bottom shelf is the Go. So that's very exciting for all Quest fans. We know we got a company who's really going to be driving this product. Secondly, the display panel that came beside that had a game listed on it that no one realized was coming to the Quest. It's a game called Chronos, and it came with great reviews a few years ago when it got released for the Rift. So people on Reddit were really excited to see that game coming out for the Quest as well. And then thirdly, and this is really what got the hype engine really revved up, the fact that these display booths were being dropped on Monday, one day ahead of F8, pretty much confirmed for most people, including myself, that the Oculus Quest would probably be available on Tuesday, shortly after Mark Zuckerberg announces it at F8. And as you probably already know, it didn't. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Now, what's really funny here, there's another Redditor called They Call Me Cajun. And he was also absolutely convinced that the Quest was going to be released at F8. So much so that if it didn't, he was going to eat a sock. More on that at the end of the video. We go to Tuesday. And on Tuesday, of course, is F8. And this is the important moment that all Questers were on the edge of their seats waiting for the announcement that the Quest would be available. And when it finally came out of Mark Zuckerberg's mouth, it was May 21st. Yes, if you're looking to get your hands on a Quest, you're looking at May 21st. So that was a bit of a disappointment. You could almost hear the gasp across the internet when that got announced. But hey, it's only 3 weeks away, and I'm really excited now for May 21st. It's on my calendar. Now, if you didn't know this, pre-orders are already open and available. In fact, pre-orders have been selling out like crazy. Amazon in the UK already sold out of their 64 gigabyte model, and that happened, I think, on Wednesday. So that was really fast. And there's been some sellouts in Japan as well. Here in North America, we're doing much better. It seems like stock seems to be pretty healthy despite hitting a lot of the top charts. At Oculus.com, if you want to order through them, if you order it today, you're not going to get it shipped until the 27th. They've already sold that many. That is pretty crazy. In fact, when I ordered mine on Tuesday, a few hours after Mark Zuckerberg announced it, I was surprised to learn that mine's not even getting shipped until the 23rd. So that just shows you how much demand there is. And I got some more details on that in a moment. Now, if you don't know already, both the 64 gigabyte and the 120 gigabyte models are the only two models that are available. The 64 gigabyte is $399 and the 128 gigabyte model is $499. Now, which model's right for you? Hold that thought because we've got a segment up ahead on that. Now, we don't know how many have sold, but we do know that it's actually hit Amazon's top 100 list. Now, this is really interesting. As of this writing, the 128 gigabyte model was number 10 on that list. The 64 gigabyte model was 18th on that list. And even the travel case is on that list at number 37. Now, this is actually a rather big deal because if you go back throughout time, there's only ever been one other VR device that's hit that top slot, number one, and that was the PSVR. And you gotta believe this, on Wednesday, this 128 gigabyte model also hit the first place. Now, to put this all into contrast, the Nintendo Switch at the same time today is number 14 on that list. The PS4 is number 78 on that list, and the Xbox One is 91st on that list. And like I said earlier, The 128 gigabyte model is number 10. The Switch, which is the highest console, is number 14. So as of today, and in fact the last 4 days of this week, Oculus Quest has been selling better than the major consoles. So don't know that it's going to continue. Of course, we're in that very hype phase and it might trail off. But something tells me that we're going to see and continue to see strong sales of the Quest. In fact, if you want to know my predictions, there's a video you can go see right here on how I predict that I think we're going to sell 2.5 million of these devices over the next year. So why are so many people buying the Quest? Well, a number of reasons, and some of them I've spoken about before in these videos. But I think it's safe to say that when you look on the internet, now that the embargo is being lifted on reviews, you're getting some pretty strong reviews from a lot of very reputable organizations. Norm and Jerry at Tested have reviewed it, Mike from VR Oasis, Tom's Hardware, The Verge, Polygon, CNET, Cass and Chary, Wall Street Journal, and they did theirs in the sun, which is something that Oculus says you're not supposed to use it outside, so that was kind of funny. And there are many, many more reviews. And the overall consensus is this device is a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Like the reviews have been very strong. And pretty much unanimously, people are saying VR has arrived for the masses. So if you haven't checked out any of those reviews or you're interested in them, go ahead, look below. I got a link to all of them, plus many, many more that you can go right now and go get some details. Also interesting this week, Luckey came out on Twitter and he posted that he endorses the Oculus Quest. Now, that's in stark contrast to about a month ago when he came out and actually slammed the Rift S for not having manual IPD adjustment. He feels differently about the Quest, and I can kind of see why. If you've read the book, The History of the Future, which is a fantastic book, and I recommend everyone to read it, he goes into some details in that book about the beginnings of Oculus. And right back at the very beginning, both Luckey and John Carmack always sort of believed that this whole revolution of VR won't really happen on the PC, that it's going to happen on mobile. And really, all these years later, this is going from 2012 till now, all these years later, we're finally at that point where the Quest is arriving, May 21st, and that really strong future vision that those two people had way back when they formed Oculus is finally coming to fruition. And it's too bad that Luckey's not part of the program anymore, but John Carmack is still there at Oculus. He's their CTO. Now, you probably have heard that the Oculus Quest is launching with a whopping 53 games. Now, that's like what a major console gets launched at. So this is a strong beginning. And it has genres for just about everybody. There's some games that are like, of course, Beat Saber, which everyone loves. It's a sweat-inducing game. We've got Super Hot VR, which reviews very, very strongly on the Quest. We've got PokerStars VR, which is a game that's got quite a bit of traction on other devices. And it's kind of this burgeoning, poker community that they much prefer playing at a table versus at their computer screens. That's cool. We got things like Robo Recall, which if you've heard is being translated from the high-end graphics on the Rift. And it's looking pretty darn good on the Quest is what we're hearing, so we'll find out more soon. We got art games like Tilt Brush, which I know a lot of the burgeoning artists just cannot wait to get their hands on. Journey of the Gods, which is an almost Zelda-like game, is what we're hearing in early reviews. Shadow Point, which is a really cool puzzle game. And of course, everyone's talking about the new Vader Immortal coming from LucasArts and ILM. Like some really cool stuff coming, and the list goes on and on. Plus, we've got a whole bunch of social games like Orbis VR, which is an MMO RPG. We've got Rec Room, which is free. And if you don't know what Rec Room is, it's not just a sports game. It is, I don't know how to even describe it because it's got dungeons to explore, sports games to hang out, social environments. It is a very, very well put together game, and I could not recommend it more. And even things like Big Screen and VR Chat, which allows you to get into social environments, watch movies, go and see comedy shows live in VR. So there's a really strong lineup of games and sort of applications as well. I am really, really impressed what Oculus has done for this launch. Now, a lot of people have been asking, should I get the 64 gigabyte model or the 128 gigabyte model? And so there's been a number of users who've gone and they looked at all 53 of those games I just mentioned, and they went and found out what is their footprint. How many megabytes or gigabytes are they going to be once installed? And what's interesting here is if you were to buy all 53 games, you're looking at about 21.3 gigabytes of storage. So, that's kind of swayed people to go that maybe the 64 gigabyte model is more than enough. Now, when you look at the sales, you're looking at the 128 gigabyte actually doing better on Amazon than the 64 gigabyte. There was a Redditor who did a poll online and they asked, what capacity are you getting? They got 132 votes and it came out to about 50-50. Half wanted the 64 and the other half wanted the 128. So it seems pretty split down the middle. Now, I went ahead and got the 128 for a number of reasons. One, I want to be able to put a lot of games on here and other apps and not have to delete anything. I hate having to delete old games. I want to be able to do screen records right to the device. Plus, I really want to load a whole bunch of movies and YouTube content. So when I travel in the airplane, I can just sit back and enjoy my virtual cinema. That's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I didn't want to jump on the go for that. I really wanted a 6 degree of freedom because I really don't like leaning and the world doesn't lean with you. I like everything to be moving and locked with me at all times. So I am really, really excited to use the Quest, not just for gaming, but for those sorts of media type applications as well. And I think a lot of other people are, based on the numbers we're seeing and how much the 128 gigabyte is selling. It's also been confirmed this week that there's going to be 5 launch demos preloaded or easy to download once you set up your Quest. They're going to be Beat Saber, Creed, Journey of the Gods, Space Pirate Trainer, and Sports Scramble. Now they're all just demos, but if you want to go ahead and buy them, they pretty much, you can continue on where you left off and go straight into the game is what we're hearing. So those are really great demos for sure. I'm really excited that they did that. I wish they had it packed in a game, honestly. But I guess it's probably, it's a launch device. And typically when we see new consoles launch, they often don't launch with games built in either. Usually do that for like the following Christmas or a re-release a year or two later. And it is confirmed by Mike over at VR Oasis and Cass over at Cass and Chary VR that the Oculus Quest does screencast. Yay! What does that mean? Well, it means you can put on your Quest, screencast to your TV, to your iPhone, or other devices. I'll talk about that more in another video, but that they can then see what you see in your screen. And this is something that a lot of people have wanted, and it's a big thing that it's just hard to get into social games and not be able to share that, especially if you're in a party environment and you're demoing it to your friends. Everybody else in the group sort of wants to see what that person's experiencing. Now, there is a little delay. Watching Mike at Virtuality Oasis videos, it's about 500 milliseconds. That's about half a second delay from what you're seeing to what the TV has. And it doesn't seem like, I don't know why this is, it might just be Mike's error on his end, but he didn't get any audio on his iPhone. However, Cass definitely got audio using Chromecast, so that's good. And there's another way to use it through a side load, and I'll talk about side loading in a lot more detail in a future video, but it allows you to put software that doesn't necessarily packed in the Oculus store, but can give you additional functionality. And Cass was able to get her Quest to stream both video and audio to her PC. And it should be the same on a Mac as well. So casting looks like it's going to be available on the Quest, which is awesome. And I guess there's one thing you need to know. There's going to be a little red dot that's going to appear in your top right-hand corner. That's been a bit of an annoyance for some people. But the good news is you don't see that on the other end, on the cast end. This week has also been confirmed there's a number of really cool accessories coming off the Oculus Quest. There is the travel case, which is a nice small little bag that holds the Quest and your 2 controllers, and maybe a little bit of room for a battery, although Mike from Virtuality Oasis put his Anchor battery is, and it's about the same size as my one here. This is a Copland battery, and it didn't fit. So I'm hoping that they can maybe fit it on top or on the bottom. I'm going to play around with it. There'll be a whole nother video in the future about how you can play for longer with an external battery, so hold out for that one. Oculus also announced the release of an in-earphone headset. Now, these are specially designed headsets that have an individual wire that plugs into the headphone jacks on either side of the Quest. and they're inner ear. And now I know a lot of people don't like that. I personally love them because it isolates the rest of the sound and gets you more immersed. But I'm sure at some point Oculus is also going to announce over-the-ear style, like what Rift has. And I'm surprised they don't have that yet, but that's where it's at today. However, if you really want to use your own headphones, you can just use either of those 3.5mm jacks. Doesn't matter which one you use apparently, and you can go ahead and plug yours in. So if you got a pair of cans that you prefer, go ahead and use those instead. And unfortunately, it's been confirmed that it does not support Bluetooth. The Quest does not support Bluetooth. So if you've got a really high quality Bluetooth headsets, unfortunately, you're going to have to use them in wired mode. Now, maybe they'll release it in the future, because certainly I believe that the technology is inside the Quest to do Bluetooth. It just hasn't been enabled for this purpose. So let's hope that changes in the future. And our final news story for today, Oculus this week confirmed that they'll be attending this year's E3. Now, they've been absent for the last 3 years, which has been sort of a surprise. They've kind of laid low and focused on their own Oculus Connect event. So it's nice to see them returning to E3, and the timing couldn't be better. And we're all pretty excited about what are they going to be doing at E3. And, this is their year. This is their first, real consumer-focused device. It's not an enthusiast device, doesn't require a high-end PC. This is the device that's going to appeal to the masses. So we're really excited to see what kind of game announcements we're going to have at E3 and what else Oculus is going to be presenting. And we know, and they've hinted at, they've got some surprises up their sleeves. And before we go this week, I want to talk about They Call Me Cajun, or Jordan Cajun on YouTube. The fella who said if Quest doesn't come out at F8, he's going to eat a sock. Well, he did that. He ate a sock. As you can see here, he actually cut it up, put it in a quesadilla, and ate the quesadilla. Thankfully, he didn't eat the whole thing. I don't know if that would be too good for your health. However, there's some happy news here. He actually got an Oculus Quest sent to him. Yes, Oculus saw him on the Reddit forums saying he's going to eat a sock. And when they found out he was going to go ahead and do it, they said, wait, we'll send you a Quest, which apparently they're doing. So good on him for getting a Quest. Unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of other people now who want to go ahead and eat socks. And there's a whole hashtag that's being launched for that. And so others are threatening, but I don't think Oculus is going to give us a new Quest to everybody who threatens to eat a sock. All right, that is it for this week. We're meeting every Friday, so please tune in again for your Quest news.